I recently had a request to do a tracing video of South Sweden, and I think I've mentioned in a previous video that I got a lot of maps from my neighbors, usually from trips that they've taken sometime in the past. And I was lucky enough that I do have one of Scandinavia, south and west. So that's perfect, and we can use this one right here. We're having a little illustration here at the front with mountains, probably a fjord. With a boat here in the middle. And I've looked at some images of Sweden and I'm really in the mood to go there on holiday now. You can also see a little line here, and that of course wasn't there in the beginning. That's part of the itinerary of my neighbour. So wrong way round. You can see that they put a black line here starting in Germany, and they traveled through Sweden up north along the coastline, and then we lose them here. It's possible they continued maybe towards Finland. I do have another map of hers, so maybe I can find a continuation there. Alright, so the request was for South Sweden and to just trace the different place names. I think we'll start here though, in Germany, in Neubrandenburg. This is the first stop. That then takes us north towards Stralsund. Here's a German Bergen, towards Sassnitz. And here they probably took the ferry towards Sweden to Trelleborg. I really hope that I'm pronouncing these place names somewhat correctly. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. Okay, let's see. We're going past Skåne towards Malmö and Lund. Here we have Eslöv, Hörby, Hör, and I think this reads Påstånga. Here they took a stop in Helsingborg at the Hotel Rosent. Maybe they crossed this bridge here and visited Denmark. After all, it's not far. Then they kept driving north. Here we have Örkelljunga, Markaryd, Traryd, Ljungby. Here past these lakes towards Värnamo, here towards Gillingarit. And then we get to Jönköping. There's a little place called Huskvarna. I was really surprised. I didn't know this was a place name. But of course the name is familiar. I think they make sewing machines. Then we have another motel. Motel Vida. They probably stayed somewhere around here. So I'm pretty sure that was a road trip for them. Here we have Gränna, Ödeshög. Then we take a turn towards the coast past Mjölby. Or not quite yet. We have Motala, Medevi, Agersund. I hope this is right. The SK is always a bit of a mystery to me, but I think it's pronounced Agersund. Fridstorp, Kumla and Örebro. Here we have another lake, Hjälmaren. And they drove right past it to Arboga, past Göping, or I guess this would be Göping, towards Västerås. It's also a somewhat familiar name. They're usually spelled in a different way when you say it. Yes, Enköping or Enköping. And up to Uppsala, Björklinge, Grytjärn. Right, should we follow this a little further? Now we get to the coastline, Marmor. Then here we have Elf, Galeby, Skutskär, and Gävle. There again, they stayed at the pension, maybe overnight, with a little trip down here past Sandviken, Storvik, Rovers, towards Falun. And then further north, Bergby, Söderhamn, Enånger, Nydånger, Hudiksvall. Here's Strömsbruk, Bjärfjord, Jättendal, Njarp, Njurunda, Sundsvall, Bergeforsen, Härnösand, Ramviken Lunde, Stockstad in Sundbrunn, Bjasta, Överhörnes, Ernst Skjølsvik. So the ending in Vik, I think, is interesting. This is something you find a lot in England too, which just gets to show where a lot of the people in England came from and where they took their language from. You have Husum, Ava, Nordmaling, Samjöle, Örnsund. And then we're here in the northernmost stop, Umeå. Alright. But we want to go back south. We go here to Stockholm. Let's take this road here to Södertälje. Do we have here Versta, Västerhaninge? We have Vagnharet, Björnlunda, Nyköping, Oxelösund. We also have the possibility to take a ferry here from, can't quite read that, Nynäshamn. We could either go here towards Jutland. We would arrive at Visby. And we could take a trip around the island towards Likarshamn, Kappelshamn. Here we have Fårösund, Slite, Ljuvgarn, Hemses, Burgsvik, Klintehamn. And if we take a different route, we would go to Ede and here, past the Roma. From Visby, we could go here towards Oskarshamn and then south to Mönsterås, Årlem and Kalmar. And then here in Kalmar we have a bridge across the Kalmarsund that takes us to Öland. I looked at some pictures of Öland and it looks gorgeous. I think it'd be a really nice place for a summer vacation. We have Borgholm, Kella, Bukselkrok, I think, and Grankullavik. And if we continue south, we get Bad Oceanston, Alby, Grönhögen, Lerhamn, Reismo, and Kjosby. Oh, sorry, I think because we have an O here, we would say Skogsby. But I'm not an expert on Swedish pronunciation. We have Söderåkra, Fågelmara and Kristianopel. We have Karlskrona and Torhamn, Ronneby, Karlshamn. Again, a starting point for a trip by ferry towards Klaipeda, but we don't want to go there. We want to go past Mørum, Sölvesborg. Oh, this one. So I would have said Kristianstad, but I saw it's pronounced Kristianstad. And this is pretty interesting. So Kristianstad is in a place in Sweden that used to be part of Denmark. So the border wasn't along here, the border was a little further north. And when he came to Sweden, at least that's what I read, I'm not 100% sure this is true, but they probably kept the Danish pronunciation, which is why this is so irregular with Kristianstad. But really interesting. I think it would make sense to just have an older regional way of pronouncing it that just survived. Okay, we have Aarhus, Dejeberga, we have Brøser. We can go along the coastline to Simrishamn and Hillinge, to Ystad, or we take the quicker road down here past Tomelilla, and then we're almost back in Trelleborg. So let's take the quick route to Malmö and Lund, and now let's try this side here to Landskrona and Helsingborg. We can go past Ängelholm, Båstad, Laholm, Halmstad, Getinge, Falkenberg, Vårberg. We have Åsa and Kungsbacka, and Mölndal. We have Göteborg, famous for its metal sound. We have Kungälv and Stenungsund, Uddevalla, Munkedal, Kungshamn. Here we have a small road past Hellevatsholm, Tanumshede. Here we have a part of the road which says it's still in bow, in construction. It's probably been finished since. Here by Bullerby. Okay, we have here Strömstad, and again we could take the ferry towards, this is hard to read, Sandefjord. It's printed right on top of this island. Oh, something like that. Okay, we have Halden, SKJE. There should be Hjeberg and Sarpsborg. And here we probably already know it, right? Here's the border. Past Moss, Vestby, Ski, Oppegard to Oslo. How about we follow this coastline too? Past Drammen. Still don't know if this is an O. I think Sanøy. Holmestrand, Horten, and Tønsberg. Get to Larvik, Porsgrunn, Breviken, Langesund, Kragerø. Here we have Risør and Vegårshei, Tvedestrand and Arendal, Blakstad, Fevik, Grimstad, Lillesand, Kristiansand. We have Tru and Mandal, Vigeland and Kapp Lindenes, nearby Lyngdal, Farsund and Børhaug, Flekkefjord, Helleland, Vikaså, Elgert, Sandnes. And we get to Stavanger and Reykjavik. Right, let's get on the ferry again. Past the Skagerrak towards Denmark. Here in Hirtshals. With Swedish and Norwegian pronunciation, I feel like I can probably pronounce this somewhat correctly, but Danish intimidates me. I think I'm not going to try that. Let's go back to Sweden. To Göteborg. Right, we have another big road here. Past Mölndal and Bollebygd to Borås. Uridammen to Jönköping. Where do we want to go from here? Maybe we want to see this part. Let's go south here past Vakkeryd and Frikstad, Lammhult. There we have Växjö. So, Hjö means lake. I guess that makes sense for a city here in this region. I have never been anywhere in this area, but I'm really curious to see what this landscape is like with so many lakes. I imagine it's really beautiful. Here's a bigger one with an island. Right, but we were in Växjö. Let's go. Let's see, should we go back to Germany? Let's see if we get there. Go south to Tingsryd and Mørum, past Kristianstad, Degeberga and Brøsarp, Tomelilla, to Ystad. Take the ferry to Rønne. Here in Bornholm, which is part of Denmark. From here, where do we go? You know what would be neat? To go up here. But where does that ferry start? Here. Alright. Let's return to Sassnitz, Bergen, Stralsund, Löbenitz, Ribnitz, Damgarten, Rostock, Warnemünde. Here's a start. Let's go a little further. Bad Doberan, Wismar, Lübeck. Okay. And then up here past Neustadt, Oldenburg, and Kiel. Let's get on the ferry here. And we want to go further north. This one takes us to Helsinki Ventspils, Tallinn, and St. Petersburg, which I think is a really, really beautiful city. I don't know Ventspils, but I've been to Helsinki and Tallinn, which I've really enjoyed. So let's imagine our trip continues there. And I'll see if I can find a map. I think there should be one for Helsinki. And maybe we can pick up on my neighbour's itinerary. Somewhere up there in Finland. If my pronunciation was really off, don't tell me. Maybe one day, if I learn a little bit of Swedish, I can fix it, but for now I think it'll have to do. Okay. Let's fold this back up. So thank you for watching. If there's something in particular you'd like to see, feel free to leave me a comment. And I'll see what I can